In the meantime, the FBI admitted that they ignored a tip last month about the Florida school shooter. Florida Governor Rick Scott tweeting that FBI Director Christopher Wray should resign as a result. Joining us is Danny Coulson, former Deputy Assistant Director at the FBI. All right, Danny, you know, the FBI, certainly everyone agrees they dropped the ball. So the big question is, should Wray consider resigning?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, every agency makes mistakes. If you look at the system that's in place, the FBI stopped many attacks on our society. They've apprehended many terrorists by this very same system. The FBI knows it made a mistake, and the director knows that there was a failure there. And the fact that he's admitted it says a lot of good things about him, and he will find it. I'll promise you, the FBI will fix this deficiency, and they'll move on. What the problem here is, and it may not get fixed, is the system that allows mentally deficient or people that have mental problems to go unaddressed. This man was contacted many times by state and local authorities, and nothing was done about it. And he could go out and buy a gun. I, mean,
I want to get back to that, Danny, but I do have to say, you know, the day when this occurred, I was preparing for my show, and I just Googled FBI drops the ball, and I'm reading articles going back to Pearl Harbor. Now, listen, we respect and love the FBI, but let's face it, after 9/11, we were promised that there were going to be tighter controls and better communication, and subsequently, there have been a lot of mistakes. This isn't just a sort of a one-off. And this is an egregious
No,
mistake.
there have been.
This is egregious.
Yeah.
This is, you know, someone specifically gave details that should have raised a red flag and should have facilitated some sort of action. So the American public, they're not going to accept lip service on this one. Whether Wray goes or not, we Americans want to see what exactly you're going to do to make it better.
And the director said that. I totally agree. I'm not defending what they did at all. I'm as sickened by it as you are. I'm still part of that culture, and the FBI is sickened by it. But I don't think that you throw the baby out with the bathwater here. You have a director who says he will address it, and he will fix it. We don't want to kill the agency because they made a mistake, and this is a horrible mistake. And they are sickened by it, you're sickened by it, I'm sickened by it. But they will, in fact, fix it. The other part of the problem, I have questions about that, and that's something we could talk about maybe for another time. But they will fix this, and we'll move on.
Well, Danny, you know, you mentioned the mental illness aspect of this, and obviously that's urgent. There's no one who would disagree with that. It does get more controversial, though, when you start talking about the gun control aspect of this. People are afraid, Second Amendment rights. There's a large swath of powerful forces that have wanted to take that away from Americans for a long time. But is there going to be some sort of movement, you think, now on some form of gun control?
I think there will be, and I think what it'll be is better background checks. Law-abiding citizens who have guns are not going to be the problem. It's the individuals either demented or terrorist or some other kind of a issue. We need to keep them out of the system. We need to keep them from buying weapons. But another, Charles, one thing we have to remember, too, that where there's a will, there's a way. And we need to do a better job protecting our children in our schools. They need to have better training. They need to know what to do in an active shooter situation. And I don't know why we don't have armed policemen in the vast majority of our schools in the country. Right. If it's a financial issue, then let's just address that. But it's not a single issue problem here. Right. It's a multifaceted problem that we need to address it across the board.
Danny, I agree 1,000%, and maybe this time it will be better or different.
I hope so.
We all do. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoyed it. Thanks.